We are at the Best of Xbox showcase here at E3 2011 at the Summer of Arcade titles in this part of the room here, and we're with a couple of insanely twisted, shadowy guys who are bringing us, after a lot of work, finally this summer, Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet is coming out. How does it feel?
It feels great, and you know, I want to give props to the team at Fuel Cell. We've worked incredibly hard at this game, a lot of extra hours, a lot of passion. I just want to make sure I give a shout out to the guys who made this possible.
It's been 5 years since me and Joe started working on this thing, so it's awesome to be able to see people like experiencing the game for the first time, and we're really excited about having the public play it for the first time.
Yeah, I tried it a little bit here, just a trial version of the game, and something that really strikes me is, of course, the visual style of it. Unlike anything I've played, could you talk us through a little bit about what inspired you and what the vision is for the game?
Yeah, well, I've been working in the movie industry for the past 25 years, and in 1995 I did a series of interstitials called Insanely Twisted Shadow Puppets. And Joe Olson, who was working at Midway Games, saw those shorts and contacted me to do a lecture at Midway about special effects animation. And while we were there, we hooked up and we ended up having lunch and started talking. And he told me how awesome it would be to use my vision to do a video game. And I told him that, you know, I said I have no experience in games. I've never worked. This is not my industry, really. And he said, no, this is good. I want you to stay pure and pursue your vision, and let's see what we come up with. And so I started like bouncing of ideas, doing some artwork, and it kept evolving over a period of 5 years. And this is a total labor of love. And now this is done, and I can't friggin' believe it.
And speaking of that, the artistic vision is just one part of it, of course. You have to have some kind of gameplay mechanics. And what kind of game would you describe it to, and what should people expect in terms of gameplay?
Well, to me, the best way to describe it, and the thing that it's most like, I don't think it's like anything on the market right now. I think that the genre that it is most like is like the old 8-bit Nintendo games, which a lot of the Fuel Cell team grew up playing. Games like Metroid, games like Castlevania, games like Legend of Zelda, you know, games that didn't hold your hand, games that were intuitive by their nature. You know, we don't have an instruction booklet to read, so we definitely, with Michelle's vision, we wanted to make sure that we were keeping the screen clean and keeping the cinematic experience immersive. So there's very little text, there's very little help in the game. We really encourage the player to experiment and explore. So I would say exploration, puzzle, action shooter.
So there's a lot of secrets to explore. Of course, the level that I played was pretty straightforward, even though it took me some time to figure some of the stuff out. But I guess there's a lot to explore on the sides that you wouldn't necessarily see first playthrough.
So you say it took you a little while, but you stuck with it and it felt good when you figured it out? Yeah, that's exactly what we want. We don't want to hold your hand. We don't want you to figure it out right away. It's a puzzle. Like, it's going to take you a little time to figure it out. We've had people play the game and put it down and go to sleep and think about it and then come back and say, oh, I know what to do, and they figure it out the very next time. So, you know, games were like that in the past. It's like nowadays, you know, there's a lot of hand-holding. There's a lot of, you know, go to this point and press this button to basically continue the narrative. We want to go back to games that are intuitive and fun and make you think.
You know, people like sometimes people would comment on the footage that we would release on the web as ITSP is a shooter game, and to me, it used to drive me nuts. This is not a shooter game. This is so much more. This is an exploration game. This is a puzzle game. This is a shooter game. It's everything. It's exploring an environment. It's exploring a world. And
something it didn't do was it didn't force a tempo on you. You didn't have to play it at a certain pace. So
absolutely not. We do have an MP mode. It's 4 players over local or Xbox Live. That does have more of a finite kind of timer on the game, but it's what we like to call co-opetition. So it's cooperative, but it's also competition as far as points go. You get points at the end, but you also get a team score. So both of those like push to the leaderboards. So everybody gets their individual score, but then also everybody gets their team score. So we definitely like added a little bit of a clock to that. But as far as the campaign goes, there's no clock. You can explore to your heart's content. You retraverse areas once you get new equipment. You can open up areas that you couldn't get into before. We definitely encourage exploration and retraversal and playing the game again and again and again. Every time you play it, you're going to find something new.
And it's a part of Summer Arcade, so I guess, are you finished with the game, or are you close to being finished, or where are you at?
We're very, very close. We have a release date of summer, and that's really all we can say at this point. But you know, you guys should see it very soon.
How does it make you feel? Because I guess there's a little bit of competition to get in on these campaigns, these Microsoft, you know, arcade campaigns. Is it something that you celebrated on team, or you know, how did it make you feel?
You know what? We felt really great, but at the same time, it wasn't really on the forefront of our minds. I think it was in the back of our minds the whole time. But everybody was so focused on making this the most amazing experience, and there was so much work to do that when the news finally came, it was a relief. But at the same time, we hadn't really been thinking about it. We were all so busy.
You know, my ultimate goal with this game was to do an absolute work of art until the very last minute, until Joe told me, Michel, you have to stop. We cannot change anything anymore. And that happened like just a couple of days ago. And that's to me, it was like, let's make this game the most perfect 2D animated. You know, when I got together first with Joe, I said, let's make, okay, I'll do a game with you, Joe. Let's make the most epic side-scroller 2D game ever made. And that was kind of like the target. That's what we imagined. And
I guess that's one of the benefits you have as an indie developer over the big AAA who may have deadlines to push all the time. You can really sit down and work on a game. Like I guess Braid is a perfect example of that. Just work on it until you're happy with it.
That's not necessarily true. We're first party. We definitely had deadlines. I think in a way deadlines are good. With a game like this, I think that we could work on it for another 2 years. If they were to give us the time, we'd definitely work on it for another 2 years. Deadlines are good in that respect. So,
yeah, we would like to have the games out someday as well.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So,
a lot of people have been waiting a long time for it.
Yes. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time, and you can go back to partying.
Yeah, thanks for playing, man.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.